Yeah.
Captain.
Well, Kyle said thank you to his family, so I'll thank my family too. So I spent a few weeks kicking ideas for the speech around in my mind. And after a while, I settled on the idea of describing what motivated me to apply to art and eventually led me to change careers and move to Boston. I was going to tell you about how much I had disliked my life at the time living in Buffalo and working for an automotive company. And I was going to tell you about how my desire to escape that life led me to apply to a program I never thought I'd be accepted to. The problem was, though, that every draft I wrote was terrible. They were filled with cheesy cliches, lousy analogies, and, to be honest, a couple cheap shots of the Buffalo Bills. After some reflection, I realized that I had actually been happy at my old job. I had been making good money, I had a promising career path and a great boss. The truth of the matter is that I applied to this school because, while that was all good, I didn't want to settle for what I thought was just a good life. To me, Harvard offered a means of transformation, a mechanism to achieve something I view as greater. I'm going to tell you a story, just one story, that very few of my closest friends have ever heard. And while I don't like telling it, I hope that by the time I'm done, you'll understand what motivated me to apply to the school. What motivated me to endure the rigors of the program, and what motivates me to stand here and give this speech today. And in the process, I hope it motivates you too. 14 years ago, I survived the Indian Ocean tsunami. The same tsunami that killed 250,000 people. On December 26, 2004, I was scuba diving with my father and a dive instructor named Johan through a sunken ferry wreck on the bottom of the Indian Ocean. As we swam out of the wreck's cargo bay, we noticed the temperature of the water had dropped. Not only was the water cooling, but it had also started churning. A current had appeared out of nowhere, picked up sediment from the ocean floor, and mixed it in with the tropical water. Just moments before, we had been able to see the bottom of our dive boat floating 80 feet above us, but its silhouette was obscured by a cold brown haze. And as we continued swimming, conditions deteriorated. The temperature plummeted close to freezing, and we realized we wouldn't be able to fight the current for much longer. Luckily, just as it began to overwhelm us, we found safety in an alcove on the outside of the wreck. But almost as soon as we arrived, the full brunt of the tsunami struck. To this day, I remember exactly how it felt. It was as if a hand had reached down into the depths of the ocean and grabbed me. And as it ripped me away from the alcove, I saw the dim outlines of my father and Johan disappear into the darkness. And for a moment, I wondered if it would be the last thing I ever saw. But just as it ripped me away, another eddy hit, and the current reversed itself. I saw the shadows of my father and Johan grow larger as I slammed headfirst into the side of the wreck, and then everything went black as I was knocked unconscious. Moments later, I came to find Johan clinging to the back of my dive tank as the two of us rocketed along the ocean floor away from the wreck. Just feet below me, I could see seaweed passing by, and in my dazed state of mind, I remember thinking it felt like watching bushes pass along the side of the highway. A few minutes passed, the current subsided to the point where Johan and I felt comfortable swimming up. He then released his emergency beacon, and the two of us ascended to the surface above. On the few occasions I've told this story, people ask me if I was scared, and the truth is I wasn't. But as anyone who has seen me screaming at the sight of a bee can tell you, my lack of fear was not driven by bravery. This sequence of events just happened too quickly for my mind to process. 20 minutes after Johan and I reached the safety of the dive boat, we found my father swimming a half-mile away. He had some minor injuries, but was also somehow okay. And unable to comprehend what had happened, we assumed that we had witnessed some sort of freak, isolated incident. In fact, in my dive log, I jokingly wrote down the conditions as being vortex of death, which at the time seemed like a funny joke. But the seriousness of what had happened quickly became apparent when we returned to land. The island we were staying on was featured on the front cover of the New York Times because of the severity of the destruction. That day, over 70% of its 3,000 inhabitants were killed. Over the course of the following week, I saw bodies piling up on beaches. I saw families searching for loved ones. And I saw victims swarming overflowing transport ships as they tried to escape the island. I'm not comfortable going into detail about any of it. Suffice it to say that what I saw that week changed me forever. That week I learned that life is fleeting and that any moment can be our last. So why settle for just a good life? For me, a good life was working as an engineer outside of Buffalo. But great, something I could die being proud of is a different life altogether. And to be clear, I haven't achieved it yet, but every single day I take one step closer. And that is what motivated me to apply to Harvard. It's what motivated me to work 10 hours a day, then go home and study another 8. It compelled me to make sacrifices to pay for tuition and give up all hope of having a normal social life for the last 2 years. And I know that this journey isn't something that I alone experienced. Each of you is sitting here today because something happened in your life that motivated you to apply. It motivated you to juggle personal obligations, work, and school simultaneously. Maybe your experience isn't as dramatic, and I certainly hope it's less tragic. But each of us has reasons for wanting to achieve everything that we are capable of. I encourage you to think of that reason and keep it in the back of your mind. Because if you always remember it, it will be why you continue to achieve great things. But for today, let's take a brief pause, give thanks to those that helped us get here, and celebrate our hard work. Congratulations.